Today's guest is Jenny Jackson, who helps women entrepreneurs develop the right mindset to create and to build their business. So Jenny, very much fully in tune with what I do here at Up Level Mind as far as mindset is concerned. So I'm excited to have you here today. So yeah, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, for inviting me here. And I'm quite happy. I'm really excited to be and to share and to be able to also help around and, who can get something out of this. That would be amazing.
100%. So yeah, definitely you will be able to do that here today. So yeah, so I'd love for you to just dive into more about yourself, who you are, and just kind of how you got to doing what you're doing.
Okay, so a little about me. Well, I wouldn't say I'm the typical person, and it's gonna sound weird, the way I put it. But I basically um, have been doing a lot of things on my own, meaning I've been trying to start my own business from a long time. Okay. And I've been doing so many different things, so many different business types, business ventures, and none of that have been working so much. Some work, some doesn't. So I've been like in that situation where I started a business and then finally something take me to another thing and I was able to realize that I could be a coach. So I went and certified myself to be a coach and then I started coaching other people and everything was going well, but all in a sudden I realized that I needed something more in my life. Even though I was coaching some people, I wasn't doing it at the extent I wanted. And all of a sudden, I realized that there's also other people out there that might be in my same situation. And a lot of women specifically that might be going through the same thing. Now, I am located right now, I'm not in the United States, I'm in Costa Rica. So I've been trying to get to other people, but it's not that easy, especially if you are not in certain places. And that's like a mindset I have right now because, with the internet, you can do everything you want. But so I realized that if this is happening to me and I was able to overcome that, why not help other women that might be going through the same situation I have been going through for 5, 6, 10 years now? And where I am right now, I can help those ladies to overcome those same patterns that I had that didn't allow me to move forward. So I decided to, instead of just coaching normal people, I can coach women because I know I've been in the trenches, I know what it feels like. And one of the biggest things that women have is mindset. And if we don't have the right mindset, it's hard for us to even maintain a business because you can have the most successful business in the world, but if you don't have the correct mindset, then it's going to go down the drain just like that. And if you leave it in control of other people, it's going to be a little hard to control because of the same thing. People do what they want, other people's business. I'm not saying everyone is doing that, but if you don't have control over it, it might go down the drain as well. So mindset for me has been critical. And I think that doing a configuration or reconfiguration in my business, I said, hey, let's do this. And instead of only working with normal people, let's work with women and women that has an idea to create or to build their business. So that's where the whole thing started.
Got it. So given that you're a coach yourself, given that this is, what you do for others, how would you coach yourself in this situation?
In my case, what I would say, okay, And I did that in the past. um, I would say to myself, okay, I would put, okay, what do you have planned for the next 30 days, for the next 90 days? What is your most important objective right now? What do you have in mind? And I would write it down. And depending on what I have in that moment, I would say, okay, let's work on this. Instead of going over the whole place, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do the other, which was one of the things I had in the past. I was thinking about 20 things at the same time instead of focusing on one, which was the one to move forward. So that was my issue, that I wanted to do everything at the same time and forget about the whole focus. And then I realized, okay, I need to take one step at a time. So that is the way I decided to, okay, what is the one thing you want to do now? And what is the one thing you want to decide to do in the next 30 days? So that's the way I would put it, for someone else, or in this case for me,
Right.
which was
As
the
somebody
right
else.
question.
I got you. Yeah. So like, okay, so what I heard from that is, okay, we can't do everything all at once. You got to focus. You got to direct that diluted energy towards one thing so that that one thing can actually move forward.
Exactly.
So what would be your one thing for the next 30 days?
My one thing for the next 30 days is to, right now, what I'm doing is promoting my book, because I also wrote a book. And that is what I've been doing in the past few days, promoting my book on, um, social media, on other people's websites. And I have a sponsorship that just came out a few days ago, which was quite interesting. And, you know, so that was my main focus. And I'm working on that since, like, I don't know, the last 7 days, to be more precise. Mhm.
Got it. So at the end of the day, then, are you looking for more book sales or are you looking for clients?
I'm looking for both, because once people get to see you, know, okay, this is your book, they know you have a book, they buy the book, and then within the book, they can realize what I can do. Sorry, what I can do for them. So, because in the book, it has different things, interesting things, and for them to see more or less what we can do, and it would give them the idea, okay, so this is what happens. This is okay, so why don't I contact this person? So it's like a double purpose here.
Got it. But for you right now, right, like the reason that I want more book sales is so that that would lead to more clients.
Exactly.
So if you could get tomorrow 20 clients or 20 book sales, or 20 clients and 100 book sales tomorrow, which one would you take?
I would take the clients.
Okay. So then is this accurate or safe to say that really the outcome that you want right now is clients?
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Is selling the book the fastest way to get clients in the next 30 days?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Why not?
Not necessarily, because not everyone who buy the book are going to end up being a client.
Okay. Great. So now going back to focus,
Okay.
if I'm doing 20 things, I know I need to focus. So I'm going to focus on this one thing that's critical to moving me forward. And you said it's to sell my book. But when you inspect that further, that's really a roundabout way of not
Mm-hmm.
going for what you want, which is really get clients. So there's
Mm-hmm.
better, more efficient paths for you to move to get clients.
Mm-hmm.
Your answers then, are they kind of against each other because of a lack of clarity on what you want, or resistance to owning what you want?
Hmm. Interesting. Mm, I didn't see it that way, to be honest. Resistance, I wouldn't say it's resistance. but I did focus it on that side. Okay, the book will draw more eyeballs, that would draw more customers. That's the way I put the path.
And I agree with that. Like that is true, right? Like the more people read your book, the more likely they are to reach out. So I actually have nothing against that particular tactic.
Mm-hmm,
The reason that I'm like poking and prodding and whatever is
mm-hmm,
because like your words were, I got to focus on what I need to do for the next 30 days.
mm-hmm,
And in the next 30 days, I don't see you selling a million copies. That's going to lead to a whole influx of clients. And not to mention, when given the opportunity, do I take 20 clients or 100 book sales? I'll take 20 clients. So it's like the stated goal
mm-hmm.
goes against
What
the
I just
best
mentioned
action that you can
5 minutes
determine for
ago.
yourself. So it's like, what is the disconnect there?
Mm, okay. Yeah, that I'm like, even though I set up the path correctly, my focus is still kind of diluted, right?
Right. Or put another way, like even when being prompted to focus, I still choose something that's self-sabotaging,
Okay,
right?
got it.
And going back
Got
to
it.
what you started with at the beginning, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of different businesses, none have ever like succeeded to the degree that I wanted them to succeed. I always change my mind, i.e., there's a part of me that always quits, changes, something goes wrong whenever I'm at the precipice of success. So now, even
Mm-hmm.
here, I have the opportunity to choose what I'm going to do for the next 30 days. I know what it is that I actually want, but I'm actively choosing the one tactic that is least likely to get me there in the next 30 days.
So in that case, the right, but not the right, but the answer based upon the focus I gave would be go for the books instead, right? But then I just said, no, it's for the client. So yeah, I realize that right now. I just didn't connect the dots with the words. So I got it. I got it now.
Okay. So what's coming up for you internally? Like how does that make you feel to have it reflected?
That I need to restructure. Um, After this call, I need to focus on double check what I'm doing or what I just said to you, which was the book versus the clients, and then I went with the clients. So in this case, I need to do a reconfiguration about that.
Okay. And why do you think that wasn't clear to you right away?
Because in my mind, when I set it up, it had that double purpose. And for me, the focus was the double purpose. So that's why when you ask that specific question, is where I got, okay, wait a minute. So I came to the crossroad and I said, well, wait a minute, I can't choose both. I have to choose one. So there is where I got like, that block type stuff because my purpose was the double purpose. I mean, the double option, but you only gave me one. So there is where I got.
Right. And when you consider doing one right now, so focusing on just getting clients, like all in for the next 30 days, how do you feel internally?
It's a little more challenging
Okay. So how so?
because, okay, for getting more clients, people need to trust you, right? It's not that they're going to see you for the first time and they're going to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to work with you. No, they need to get to trust you first before someone can decide to work with you.
And do you trust yourself
I
to
do.
work with them quickly?
I do.
Okay. So do you trust yourself with that same level of trust, that same level of confidence to get clients?
Mm. I would want to say yes.
But
It's not something I can control
okay,
because I'm not here to convince you to get it. My intention is to, okay, this is what I have, this is what I can do, and it's your decision to make it. I'm not going to tell you, oh no, you should get it because I don't consider that's the best way to go with it. Because
100%.
convincing someone is basically wanting you want someone to do what you want. And that's not what I want. I want to put it out there, see what you have, what I can offer, and the decision would be your decision, not mine. And that is something I cannot control.
100%. And I agree with you, especially in the transformation business. Unless somebody wants the transformation, it's going to be a mess if they get into a transformational container, but they don't really want it. So, yeah, I
So that's
agree
why
with
I
you
said
100%.
it's I can't. I mean, I know what I can do. I know what I can, but it's not up to me for that decision. I mean, the decision would be the person in front of me.
Correct. But what is within 100% of your control is your effort to
Yeah,
have as many of those conversations as possible.
definitely.
So,
That
that
is
part,
what I can control.
and that's the part that I was alluding to, right? So, it's
Oh, okay,
interesting why your
okay.
brain went to, well, I can't convince anybody, right? Because the one part that you want most, which is clients, in front of you, you have the possibility to get more clients.
Hmm.
You control 100% of that effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, where your brain goes to is no, I'm going to do all this effort towards the option that is least likely to get me clients in the next 20 days or next 30 days.
Hmm.
So going back to again, that being self sabotage, what do you think your brain is afraid of to go all in on just getting clients?
I would say maybe is the fact that, you know, putting yourself all in and it doesn't work.
Mm. So if I go all in and it doesn't work, then what?
Then, of course, I would have to try something else.
But if you try something else,
Not, I mean, and maybe not something completely different. I would have to reconfigure the strategy.
right, which has
Hmm.
kind of been the pattern of the past. I try all
Hmm.
these things and then I always kind of quit right before.
Hmm.
So if I go all in and it doesn't work, are you actually really going all in?
Probably not.
Okay. So what do you think that's costing you inside of your business?
A lot.
Okay, so tell me
I
more
would
about
say a
that.
lot.
So tell me more about that. What do you mean when you say a lot?
Because, okay, when I say a lot, first I would say uh, success or the point of success where I can get to, but I haven't get to yet because of that block that comes up when the time comes to make that decision or to go in. I get that thought, and okay, so it's causing me my success. It's causing me, I would say, money,
Mm-hmm.
which is something else, and it might be causing my own self confidence at certain point because, of course, if you okay, even though being a coach, you and this happens a lot as being coach, you try to put a lot of pressure on yourself when it comes to doing things because you're the coach, right? And sometimes you think things too much and you just don't go right in. And I would say that that might be something that I've been trying to overcome, but still, when the time comes, I get that frozen moment of okay, and I'm just like blank.
So basically, there's like I paralyze when I need to take the big action.
For a second or two, and then I said, okay, what do I need to do? Or why did I do this? Or then you start contradicting yourself sometimes. And then you said, you know what? I don't know.
So I paralyze when I take the big action. Then I begin to contradict myself and basically overthink.
Yeah,
Okay. So how do you think that's a problem inside of your business?
I would say it's a lot. It's a lot because probably that's the reason why I haven't been able to reach to another level or reach to the clients I need to reach in order to start growing my business.
So when I overthink,
Mm-hmm.
I can't reach the clients that I need to reach. I can't grow my business.
Yeah,
Okay. And then not going all in and having blocks around going all in, that's costing me my success. When I
exactly.
don't go all in, it's costing me money unearned, which is the most expensive money, right? Because I could be making that money. And not going all
Yeah.
in is really costing me my confidence to even do this, especially after years of starting and stopping,
Mm-hmm. In other words,
in other words. So, do you really think you have a book sales problem, or do you have a head trash problem?
I would say the second one.
Which one?
I mean, can you repeat that? Because I didn't hear the last one.
Yeah. So, do you think you really have a book sales problem, or you
Uh-huh.
have a head trash problem?
A head trash. I would say it's a head, head trash.
Okay. Fair enough. So, why?
Why? Because of that paradigm that I've been cultivating, even though I've minimized it, I'm still using it or having it there in a corner of my mind that doesn't allow me to just open up my wings and fly.
So, the paradigm, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, that's kind of your summation of everything that we've discussed today, right?
Yes.
I distract myself with 20 things. I start and I stop. Even when I try to focus, I focus on the least likely thing to lead me to success. I don't really go all in. I don't stay clear on what it is that I actually desire and want. When I do try and go all in, I tend to then overthink it and paralyze myself. Cumulatively, that's the paradigm that I've been operating in for a long time. And that's costing me success, costing me money, confidence and belief in myself, not being able to reach the clients that I need to reach and essentially grow my business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how does all that make you feel?
Honestly, I just realized that there's a lot more work I need to do on me specifically.
And what work do you think you need to do?
I need to work on that paradigm.
And what specifically?
Mm, I need to basically get that out. or not get that out. I need to encourage or incorporate a new habit to eliminate that.
Right. So, put a different way, what I need is a complete overhaul
Oh,
of my
okay.
identity.
Okay. So in my case, because of the fact that I said, okay, I need more, I put my book out there, I promoted the book. Okay. So you reach to that point, and from there, everything was fine. Okay. Now, from that point on, what would be the next steps?
For what specifically?
For the paradigm that I had. Because remember when you asked me, okay, so if you had 100 books and you had 20 clients, which one would you go with? And I went with the 20 clients instead of the book, which was the one purpose that I put out there. So in my case, I would need to, okay, so analyze the situation there. Why would I go with the 20 clients if the original purpose was to go with a book? And then from there, create that habit, or create a new strategy that would eliminate the reason why I went with the 20 clients, and start, instead of thinking about the 20 clients, why can't I go full in? So I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself better to you.
So I'll reflect back what I'm hearing and you can let me know if
Okay.
that's what it is. Like
Okay.
you're saying, if I have clarity on what it is that I actually want, which is a 20 clients, now I can backwards engineer a better strategy,
Mm-hmm.
and in executing it, push my way through to the clarity that I want, and I
To
can get
give
what I
me
want.
the to give me the instead of freezing, to give me that push and said, okay, let's go right in, instead of backing up and moving on to something else, or moving on to a different path that takes me in circles.
Okay. So the pattern that you've had for years and years of starting and stopping, not going all in, overthinking, hesitating, paralyzing when you do go all in, that's going to be solved by a better strategy.
Mm, I would say yes.
Okay. And how's that worked for you in the past?
It's because I didn't realize what was happening.
So, in every single business and every single tactic and every single thing that you did, you never realized what was happening.
No.
And you yourself have said this is not a tactical, I need to sell more books problem. This is a head trash problem. But my solution to the head trash problem is actually going to be I got to get a better strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's because I am a, how can I put it? I am an action taker person. I have to be doing things. And for me, when I'm doing things, sometimes I don't realize certain things. But now, when you ask me and I reach to that specific point, I said, wait a minute, I answered this without even realizing it. And it took me back 5 years. And I said, okay, so you have been working this way 5 years. back and got me a flashback all in a second.
So what do you mean by that?
Because, okay, when, and it's going to be an interesting example because 5 years back, I wanted to create a book. I wanted to write a book. I wrote the book. I got the whole, everything was all set up. And all in a sudden, I backed up. And the book wasn't published. Actually, that book is some part of my computer. And then I said, okay, let's do something different. And I didn't took the moment to analyze the situation. I just said, okay, you didn't do it. Let's move on to something else. And when you asked me that, it took me to that specific moment. That if I would have said, okay, wait a minute, why can't you move forward with this? You already have everything set up. You did all the work. Why didn't you do it? And now coming back, it took me to that moment when I didn't realize or took the moment to say, okay, why didn't you do it? Why you just change your mind and went to something else? So this would have been your second book instead of your first.
Correct. So to you, the connection to solution between everything you're just sharing is a better strategy.
A better strategy, but for me, not for the things like to say things I'm doing, but for me, overcome that moment where I just froze.
Okay, so sorry, and this could just been our definitions of it. When I say strategy, I mean like tactical business strategy.
Oh, okay. No, I'm
You're
meaning
talking
a
about like a strategy on how
mindset.
do I work with myself to
Yeah,
overcome the self-sabotage.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Then we're actually on the same page because I was understanding what you were saying as no, the way to solve that is a better business strategy, like a
No,
better
no, no, no. And
brand.
sorry,
Okay,
I didn't explain myself
that's
better.
okay. Yeah, I could have asked for clarification as well, but yes.
Okay.
So then we're
So
on
it's
the
a better strategy in for me specifically because
correct.
I need to overcome that block. Okay, why? Why you reach this point and don't move forward, don't open up the doors to go full. So that's the part where I need to do an analytic on myself and say, okay, wait a minute, what's happening?
Correct. So I would agree with you because the through line on everything that you've shared so far, from essentially writing 90% of one book, not launching, multiple businesses, start, stop. Now that I have a book, I'm not doing the thing I actually want, which is getting clients. I'm always in the circle of 80,
Personal
90%
development.
there, then quit.
Exactly.
Right. So the through line for everything is how I make my decisions, how I got to where I'm doing, good or bad, has always been through the lens of self sabotage. There is
Yes.
something about success, or there is something about trying fully all the way in and failing that is like paralyzing to my subconscious to the degree that I will not ever give it 100%, focus to the degree that I know that I can focus
Mm-hmm.
and really push myself to go to where I need to go.
Instead of moving off it, keep on it and keep on it until it works.
Correct. To your subconscious, that is the most terrifying thing. Either
Yeah.
because it thinks you're going to fail or because it fears you will succeed. That part I think remains to be unpacked. But is that like resonating with you?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So if you now flip that around, and if you didn't have the self sabotage, who or what would you be?
Wow. Um, hmm. I can't even imagine where I would be right now.
So can you imagine who you would be?
I would be, hmm, I would be the same person, just that I would have a lot more success. I would have an established business and I would have a lot more confidence in myself.
Okay. So those are essentially the opposites of what you feel like you're lacking right now. Right. Because if I look at my notes here, it's like, okay, not going all in is costing me my success. It's
Mhm.
costing me my money. It's costing me my confidence. Well, what would I have in my ideal vision if I didn't self sabotage and I transcended that? Oh, well, I would just have the opposite. I'd have more success. I'd have more business. I'd have more confidence. So the reason that I bring that up is you were just prompted to really allow yourself to want whatever it is that you want without the main thing holding you back. And all your brain allowed you to do, how far it allowed your imagination to stretch, is to just basically say, I'd still be myself, but just better.
I would be a better version of myself.
And that is true. It would be. But what I'm trying to bring to your attention is that self sabotage
Mhm,
is so deep rooted that it's not even allowing you on a default basis.
mhm.
Like your first answer was, I don't even know. Like it's blocking you from even imagining who or what you would be if this core self sabotage part wasn't there.
Wow.
So, what's coming up when I share that?
It's at this moment, it's like I would say tornado
Mm-hmm.
that is going in circles right now
And what's it circling around?
around me. Right now, my brain is like,
Okay. And that's a fair reaction. This is a it's a big mirror to hold up to be like, I'm stuck in this loop of self sabotage. I know it's costing me everything that I want,
mhm.
but it's made me so limited that I can't even imagine a better
What's
life.
next on the other side of the.
Correct. It's almost like if I can't imagine where I'm going to go, that allows the self sabotage to continue to perpetuate itself inside of me.
To continue keeping me in that same
Yes.
place.
The stagnant familiar, I only go to 80% and I stop. What's beyond that? It's too scary to imagine because this part of you has to die
It's
to
still
go there.
stuck there at that point, at that level.
Correct.
Wow, wow, it just hit me. Hmm, yeah, interesting. It's amazing that how powerful it is to have someone tell you things that you thought you did overcome, but you still have it there without even knowing it. Is it still there?
Yeah. And that's why I
So
always say it's hard to see the building if you're standing on the balcony.
yeah.
So knowing all of the head trash that really for you, the main part of it is self-sabotage. And it's creating essentially all of the breaks in your business, right? It's costing my
Hmm.
success, costing my money, costing me my confidence, costing me reaching out to clients, costing me focus. And I can't even imagine what life is like without these patterns or what or who I would be living and expanding without them. Is it important for you to change this?
Yes, definitely.
And when is it important for you to change this?
No,
Why?
because if I don't do it, I'm going to be stuck in the same place where I am right now. Reach it to the 80%
Yeah,
and not being able to break it and say, okay, this was 80. Now see what is on the other 20% that you have been holding back for years.
correct.
That
So,
freedom that it's on the other side waiting for you, but you're still, have that block of the 80.
so what you did just there, that's the first time I've actually felt your energy rise, right? When you said freedom, right? And it wasn't even like freedom from the perspective of I'm going to have financial freedom and, I'm going to be
No,
driving my Ferrari.
if
It's freedom from a limiting pattern that's been keeping me here for a very long time. Like it is like a breath of fresh air kind of freedom.
yeah, it's like if I would see a ray of light coming through the whole storm.
Yes. So I
Yeah,
think that is a glimpse. It's
of what's
financial
on the other side.
correct, right?
Wow.
That is a glimpse of what's available to you beyond this pattern. So that's a beautiful kind of moving into closing this. Because like I said, I would love for it to solve this all in one session, but that's what the full program is for. Um,
Yeah, wow.
but
Oof. I mean, I'm still like I-
that's
I'm
okay.
just getting it in like full. So it's like at the whoa, interesting. Thank you so much. I didn't reach to that because the whole call I thought I was getting it until we reached to the 80%. And I boom, I just stopped there and I was like, no, but I'm moving forward. And you were like, no, wait a minute. Yeah. And you were no. And then I said, okay. So the way you put it for me to analyze it is where I said, hey, wait a minute. And yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Beautiful. Well, that's a great place to close. So why don't you just summarize for us? What did you come in here thinking was like the business issue, and then what kind of head trash issue did you end up identifying for yourself?
Well, yeah, at the beginning, I thought, okay, it's an issue with everything is working out okay. I have it all figured out. Everything is fine. And then when you push me to the limit, seeing, I just went back in, retrieved myself instead of, and then I realized this is what you have been doing for the past 10 years. So it's not a matter of business tragedy. It's a matter of your mental situation or where you have been putting yourself for the past 10 years. And now that I reach here, I realize that it's not the business, it's me.
That's a big realization. So congratulations on having that. And yeah, to then just close us off, you can let everybody know where to find you, who's the best person to find you. Floor is yours for that.
Okay, so I'm still kind of, but yeah, you can find me on, well, I have a website, which is jennyjpath.com. I also have a Facebook page, which is Jenny Jackson Official. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is Jenny Jackson. I've been putting out some interesting videos out there. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's Jenny Jackson Official. So, and well, my book that is out there, it's on Amazon. It's called The Wyverness Effect.
Love it. Well, as always, we will include all of that in the show notes. But Jenny, thank you very much for coming on. And for everybody else listening, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.